Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm Mary Felling, physical therapist. Today I'm going to be showing you a follow-along technique that helps relieve stiffness in the back of the neck. So those of you who are daily finding themselves in a forward head position, in a position where you have to look up, maybe you're a painter or designer and your head is looking up, hands reaching up too at the same time for prolonged periods of time at the day, this is for you. So let's get started. All right, so today all you're going to need is a firm seated chair. So I've got a dining room chair here. A sofa will not work. You don't want to be on the edge of your bed or on a couch, a recliner. Those are a little too soft. So you need a firm chair, and then you'll need some kind of a soft roll. You could use a rolled up towel if you want. I've got a nice little pillow here. This is going to be for your low back to support it. So you're going to get in your chair. Chair does need to have some kind of a back, so you can't use a stool. And get yourself seated all the way back so your rear end is as far back as possible as the back of the chair will allow, and then support your low back with that pillow. And then you're going to be in this nice upright position, and all you're going to do is let your chin come forward gently, allowing the head to come down until you feel the slack taken out of the back of your neck. I'm not forcing my head down. I'm not using a hand to strain my back of my neck. I'm just letting the weight of the head bring it down. And then in this position, relaxed but with a straight spine. So I'm not doing this. I'm here. Only the neck is being elongated. In this position, I'm also thinking of a elongation as if a puppeteer has a string tied to the top of my head and is pulling it in that direction. So I'm relaxed this way, and I'm just elongating, telescoping my neck a little that way, as if the top of my head is trying to reach for the corner of the ceiling. All right, so we're going to start the 5-minute clock, because this is a John Barnes myofascial release technique. And in all those techniques, it's a minimum of 5 minutes to help get that fascia to release and soften. So once you're in this position, it's really important not to move out of it. If you have to blow your nose or something's itchy, if you change the position of your head and neck and you have to itch or readjust yourself, the clock starts over. So remember, this is in a myofascial release technique, it's always a minimum of 5 minutes. So all of you who have already started, maintain that position. And you've got that a little elongation too. So you've got the head, the weight of the head kind of stretching out and taking the slack out of everything from the back of your neck. The rest of your spine below your neck is nice and tall. Again, nothing slouched like that. And this is 5 minutes minimum in the John Barnes myofascial release approach. And I'm going to look at the camera for a minute, but the rest of you maintain your position. In the John Barnes myofascial release approach, we need a minimum of 5 minutes to start this bioelectric flow. It's called the piezoelectric effect. And that bioelectric flow it's elicited from 5 minutes of uninterrupted mechanical energy placed into the body. The mechanical energy we're using on this technique is of elongation and stretching, taking all the slack out. So once that mechanical energy is in the system for 5 minutes, it starts that electrical flow, the piezoelectric effect, and that electrical flow moves through the fascia. The fascia is like the copper wire in our body. And when it comes to those areas that are tight and stuck, and you know the ones I'm talking about, right at the base of your head where you feel like you're getting pulled back, and it's tightening and maybe even pressing down on your shoulder, pressing the back of your neck back into the top of your shoulders. That area is getting a nice elongation with this technique, because a lot of people who have to be in this position all day get very tight and stuck back here. And when we do, it can create headaches, That area can create tension across to the front of the brow. You know, those frontal headaches people can get, and it feels like it's behind the eye. That's because this is so tight. So this technique we're doing is really good for helping to relieve tension headaches, not only the stiffness in the neck too. So once that fascial area that has been bound down, that's tight because it's had so much overuse and being compressed, once that gets that electrical flow in it, that piezoelectric effect causes the fascia in that area to soften, allows it to elongate, and it rehydrates. So now you've got mobile tissue. It's taking the strain out of the base of the cranium, and which in turn is taking the strain of the fascia out from the scalp and around to the front of the head, where we have this muscle that can get really tense from prolonged periods like this. So, and as that fascia is releasing, there's also less pain anywhere in that whole line of tension because the fascia is opening, it's softening, and it rehydrates, it gets the mobility back. So it's great. It's a twofer. Less pain, more mobility. So for those of you who are still in this position, again, you check, make sure that spine is nice and tall. And you make sure that you've just got that idea of somebody with a string pulling your head this way too. So it's relaxed down and just ounces of elongation up. And remember, you can do a minimum of 5 minutes, but 7, 8, 9 minutes, absolutely, especially if you feel after 5 minutes or so that you're getting some relief and you want to continue that. You can stay there 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It won't injure you. You'll just get more and more releases. But the bottom line is you need a minimum of 5 minutes to start the relief induced by the bioelectric flow. So all of you who are in this position, we're coming up to that 5-minute minimum. You're welcome to continue going. Or if you wanted to feel what it feels like, go ahead and slowly come up, look around, maybe turn your head left and right, feel the difference. What does your head feel like? And this is something you can continue to do to help relieve headaches. Maybe you've had them long term, maybe you've had them for years or decades. This will help relieve all that stiffness at the base of the cranium that gets so tight and gets the head stuck back on the neck and loses that mobility. This will be really helpful. Like all of these, 14 days in a row to begin with. Each day, do this technique, minimum of 5 minutes. And then after those 14 days, then you can drop down to 3 or 4 times a week, every other day. Or, especially after you've been in a position where you know it can create the tension in the back of the head, do this technique that we just did to help get some immediate relief from that. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me. And as always, I invite you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that as new videos come up, you can get them right away to keep yourself feeling good and active in your life. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in our next video.